I am Dr. Amreen Hamdani, and I'm here to talk about Cambridge, India openVirus project. And it all began 3 months ago when Dr. Peter Murray Rust and Dr. Gitanjali Yadav formed a team, and we've been working since then. And just as the hackathon began, we were ready to welcome a few more people on board to tell them more about our project and to help them, and so that they could also help us in return to gather more knowledge. So essentially, our vision is based on the fact that science is full of ideas, and these ideas are then made tangible when they go into scientific literature. And when they go into scientific literature and they gather together to form repositories, these repositories become gold mines of information. And if these gold mines are mined properly, they can go back into science and cause big revolutions. And this is where we come in. We envision scraping these repositories, annotating and searching them. And the pipeline should be so simple that we can do it under any conditions in local PCs and as well as in places where the internet connection may not be so good. So the openVirus team essentially scrapes the Europe PMC database. It cleans it, annotates it using dictionaries, and then displays them in the most coherent and simple way possible, and then also endeavors to publish the information extracted so that it can be used further. So our primary tools in this regard are GetPapers, which is a scraper for downloading scientific literature. For any query that you put in there, it will give you the metadata as well as full text. And the potential of this tool is that it can download hundreds of papers per minute. And like I already told you, our primary repository is the Europe PMC repository. And together, these two help us in making faceted mini corpora. And the dictionaries that we use are primarily for annotation so that we can search this literature and get useful inferences. And these dictionaries, in our case, we tried to extract multidisciplinary knowledge about viral epidemics and not just the COVID-19 pandemic. So we formed dictionaries with regards to the countries, diseases, drugs, funders, viruses, testing and tracing, zoonoses, which is essentially the transmission of diseases from animals to humans or from humans to animals, and all the non-pharmaceutical interventions that can help prevent and control viral epidemics. We created these dictionaries primarily using Wikidata, and we used Sparkle queries for that. And then we converted it into an AMI acceptable form using AMI-Dict, which is also another tool that has been developed during the openVirus project. Another very important part of our dictionaries is that they are multilingual. That is, they can incorporate terms from other languages. So we have terms from Urdu, Hindi, as well as Tamil, and other languages like Spanish as well. This helps us in empowering regions, especially the global south. So this is what a typical dictionary looks like. It has, as you can see, this is a country, the country dictionary, and as you can see, it has terms for everything, for the country ID, for the description, for synonyms, and for so much more. Yeah, for Wikidata URL, a closer look will show you Wikidata ID, Wikidata URL, synonyms, etc. And it is also multilingual, like I told you. It has multiple languages in it as well. So AMI, then after we have made the dictionaries and we have used the scraper to download papers, later we can go with this state-of-the-art tool called AMI, which can perform full-text scientific searches. So essentially, a paper can be taken, semantic full search can be performed on it. It can be sectioned into article sections using JATS, and upon that, a search using these dictionaries can be performed to get multiple results like full-text searches, co-occurrences, plots and graphs, data tables, summary tables, frequencies, and much more. So using all this technology, we formed faceted mini corpora, and primarily we picked up mini projects. That is, we formed smaller groups within larger groups, and we picked up mini projects for multiple questions like what viral epidemics, what is the association between viral epidemics and countries, diseases, drugs, funders, viruses, testing and tracing, zoonoses, and all the non-pharmaceutical interventions that can prevent and control viral epidemics. So a typical Europe PMC search will give you about 19,000 papers on viral epidemics. We split these into facets, but we limited our search to 1,000 papers so that it could become easily usable on our local machines. So after all this is done, what Amy is capable of giving you is dashboards and data tables. These are coherent, these are simple to understand, and useful patterns and inferences can be drawn from these. And also, all this can be used to analyze everything further using machine learning. So our mini projects were primarily based on critical questions like what countries are more prone to viral epidemics? Which diseases co-occur with viral epidemics? Are there any drugs that are specific to treatment during viral epidemics? What funding organizations come to the forefront when it comes to funding research on viral epidemics? Are there any non-pharmaceutical interventions? And what are their effects on viruses and the epidemics that they cause? What viruses are responsible in the first place to cause viral epidemics? And what is the role of zoonosis? And how can testing and tracing prevent and control viral epidemics? So this is a typical result. It is a multi-dictionary search dashboard, wherein, as you can see, we have used 3 dictionaries: the country, the diseases, and the funders dictionary, and we have run it on multiple articles. A closer look will show you that each dictionary is capable of searching through the text and give us multiple word frequencies. Now, our mini projects reveal some very interesting insights. For example, drugs like ribavirin and oseltamivir are very commonly used during viral epidemics. Countries like China and USA find their mention often in papers that are published on viral epidemics. Diseases like influenza, chikungunya also find their mention quite often. For the testing and tracing part, infection, treatment, and detection are the terms that are very frequently found. The World Health Organization, National Institute of Health, and the Center for Disease Control and Prevention are the funding agencies which seem to be funding a lot of research. And heme agglutination and neutralization tests are quite popular when it comes to viral epidemic testing. And viruses like HIV in the global context and Zika, dengue in the tropical context are very common. So the repositories are capable of telling us a lot of things, and we can visualize it too. We try to visualize it using this particular bar plot, wherein you can see we have viral diseases from India, and we can see each disease and their frequency and which disease has more hold over the country. And this can be extrapolated to the entire world. Each country here is represented in a different color, and we have taken these many countries to represent a few diseases. So this is a typical co-occurrence table wherein diseases are, the co-occurrence of diseases with countries is seen. For example, on a closer look, we can see that each disease has a stronghold of each disease has some stronghold over some countries, and their frequency is plotted in this co-occurrence table. So like I told you, the idea began with Dr. Peter Murray Rust and Dr. Gitanjali Yadav. The teams began to become bigger. 2 people joined, then a lot more joined. And as it happens with all beautiful things, more people joined. So we formed a big team. And then the hackathon happened, wherein we could come forth and bring on more people, share ideas, share each other's vision, and contribute to the larger goal of making science powerful. So with this bigger team, we explored new ideas. We did hands-on Amy and Get Papers sessions, and some of our new members are so good now that they can give tutorials to other people. And brainstorming on running Docker on Windows was also tried. We also tried our hands at some machine learning, asking the question, can we use machine learning for classification based on diseases, based on the papers that they are reported in? For this, we essentially used Get Papers to generate data. We used Get Papers to get 1,000 articles on COVID-19 and 1,000 others on other diseases like Ebola, HIV primarily, but other diseases too. And Amy was then used to generate data tables, which we scrutinized manually to see whether these were actually positives and negatives. We treated COVID-19 as positive and the others as negatives. And then we balanced the data set, and we ran multiple algorithms on the same to check which gave us the best mean accuracy. Then we picked up the binomial naive Bayes, and we performed further analysis and got this confusion matrix, which looks pretty good. And we also came up with the scatter plot, which is also not very bad. So the recall of this was 95.87%, and the precision was 94.89%. We know that there is a long way to go, and there is a lot of there is a lot of contribution to make. But I can promise you that even if the road is long, we are ready. Thank you.
That's great. That's that's an applause from me. Thank you very much for that talk.